kind of amazing that Lando was so knowledgeable about this that he could identify them from the inputs and the serial number on the back of a monitor.
Yeah.
Lando must have a great memory. That has to be one of his skills.
Right?
Unless the serial number is like Dark Force 1, Dark Force 2, Dark Force
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same as my luggage.
Hello there, you found the Lost Holocron, an ancient artifact of lore and legends from a galaxy far, far away. Each transmission of the Lost Holocron, you will join an episodic discussion of media from a Star Wars universe. We will be your guides. I'm joined by Tim. I'm joined by Kyle.
I'm also fighting cats.
Scott is present. And I'm so glad I'm a cat person. I'm Stuart. We will be covering the material up to and including chapter 16, yes, of Dark Force Rising. Tim, what's happened so far?
So far, the Empire and New Republic are scrambling for warships. Han Solo has had no luck recruiting independent factions of smugglers to the New Republic's cause to fulfill their increasingly strained logistics, and the Imperials have placed a bounty for 120% market value on captured capital ships. After a messy skirmish over Sluiss Van, the New Republic's fleet has been decimated. Further, with unexplained cash being deposited into Admiral Ackbar's account on the day of the Imperial attack, Ackbar is under arrest on suspicion of treason. Bothan Council member Borsk Phalia is taking great advantage of his political rival's misfortune. Han Solo takes it upon himself to investigate the Churba sector, hoping to find evidence to clear Ackbar's name as the Bothans displayed unusual commitment to the area during the Galactic Civil War. Han and Lando arrive to an undisclosed world by the invitation of a rogue militia they tangled with on Nukov. Led by Garm Bel Iblis, dissident ex-Imperial senator and long thought dead by the wider galaxy, his militia may have a common enemy in the Empire. But Bel Iblis doesn't trust the New Republic, specifically the de facto leader, Mon Mothma. While in the private quarters assigned to them, Lando claims that the upholstery is distinctly from the Katana Fleet, a huge pre-Clone Wars era fleet of warships famous for its implementation of slave circuit technology, and infamous for having been lost during a hive virus attack. Were it true and they were able to persuade Bel Iblis to join the New Republic, the Katana Fleet may make all the difference in the New Republic's logistical struggle with the Imperial remnants. Leia Organa Solo has traveled to Honagar with Imperial Death Commando Kabarak to secure the allegiance of the Nogri people that have been thus far under coercive Imperial control. Grand Admiral Thrawn is simultaneously planetside, demonstrating his own insistence that the abduction of Organa Solo is of top priority to the Empire and its subjects. Kabarak's return has raised suspicions on his clan, and Thrawn has taken him into custody. Kyle, what happened in this chapter?
Han and Lando go back and investigate the headquarter lounge for confirmation that furnishings of the Bagheeri's nest are indeed from the Katana Fleet. Lando completes his inspection just as Irenaeus returns. She marches them out of the lounge into Senna in a waiting speeder. A terse discussion of intentions evolves into a frank plea for Han to encourage the New Republic to extend invitations to Bel Iblis to rejoin. In a forgotten corner of history, Bel Iblis was actually a founding member of the Alliance to restore the Republic, but was shouldered out by Mon Mothma's charisma after the death of Bail Organa at the
That wasn't me.
Wait, what? Oh, yeah, sorry. At the death of Bail Organa at the destruction of Alderaan, scorned, he has been fighting his own private war since then. Their own operations had ceased almost 3 years earlier in preparation should Mon Mothma's hold over the New Republic become autocratic. Something Han knows is not going to happen. Han and Lando offer an ultimatum. They will talk to the New Republic Council if Senna gives up information on the Katana Fleet. She tells the location of the contact from whom they acquired their 6 ships and agree to convey them off-world. They make to leave, but Bel Iblis is already waiting for them on the landing platform. With understanding his facade crumbles, leaving a hollow man, Han gives one last attempt to convince the commander of his value should he join the New Republic. En route back to Nukov, Han shares with Lando his worries about Leia's mission. Over Hungary, Pilgan presents Thrawn with the intel of Millennium Falcon having been found over Endor. Together they suspect, after extract the information from captured Kavarek, the rebellion is using his release as a diversion to uncover information about the location of Mount Tetis. Thrawn decides to leave Kavarek on Hungary to acquiesce the Nagori elders to their traditions.
Guys, we're professionals.
Yeah. We the professionals. I can't help the street fights in the background.
We got 2 new members of the Lost Holocron fighting in the background.
Yeah. They're doing the intro next.
We'll come up with some gem colors from them later. My request is shit brown and a darker brown. Get some help. Yeah, let me throw a pillow with them. Alright, hopefully that fixes that.
Well, first thing I liked about this chapter was Lando's reason for researching the Dark Force.
Yeah, he was stuck in a room. What else was he gonna do?
Right.
He got scammed into I forget exactly what it was, scammed into having something related to them.
Buying a
And
map
then
to
he
it.
wanted to a map, and then he wanted to scam someone else so he could get his money back. I love it.
That's a very Lando thing to do.
It is.
I felt like that was a very Han thing to do, which kind of shows how different Han is, or how different Lando is now. Isn't at one point? Oh, at the very end of the chapter when they're on the when they're on the flight back, and he says, "Yeah, you're the respectable one now, right?" And so I think that just goes to show that they were very similar at one point, and then now Lando's respectable, and Han would still be the one falling for the for the dud map.
Yeah. I don't know. Lando's gone on to higher levels of non-respectability. Now he just manipulates the stock market.
Yeah, insider trading.
Yeah.
He just wants his damn miners back.
Yeah.
The other thing in this chapter, because of playing Jedi Survivor, when they walk into the bar and the bartender's like, "Hello there, how are you?" I was immediately picturing them as Monk from Kobo. And it took me a while to figure out that it wasn't a droid, because in the initial description it said bartender and deactivated serving droid. So I was like, okay, so they're all droids.
Yeah. No. It's a human because the droid is deactivated.
Droid rights.
No, they could just be sleeping. You could
No, I know.
you could ethically deactivate a droid.
Yeah.
Even C-3PO in A New Hope says, if you'd have nothing for me right now, would it be okay if I go ahead and shut down?
And they're like, yes, please, do it now.
We also remember from the last chapter, you can just turn them off against their will.
Right.
Yeah.
As with all things, consent is key.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yeah. I had a surprise too, because I don't know if I missed a point where Irenez entered the scene, but I thought she was there the whole time. And then she was just randomly mentioned.
No, like she shows up when Han goes into the back of the bar to find a 46 instead of a 49 year or whatever.
Yeah. Stuart and I both had fun misunderstandings with this chapter. Yeah.
It'd be funny if Han's taking the thing off the wall and there's this like Family Guy like moment where she is actually behind the TV, the monitor is taking off.
Like scowling at him.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
But it's kind of amazing that Lando was so knowledgeable about this that he could identify them from the inputs and the serial number on the back of a monitor.
Yeah.
Lando must have a great memory.
Yeah.
That has to be one of his skills.
Right?
Unless the serial number is like Dark Force 1, Dark Force 2. Dark Force
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same as my luggage.
When he said, "Did you get your money back?" and he said, "You don't want to know," what did you get from that? Because my immediate thought was that Han was the sucker that he ended up saying.
That's my guess too. Yeah. Han's gonna like be rummaging through his drawers one day and find the map and be like, "God damn it!"
This chapter and the last chapter kind of really blur together for me. So
Yeah.
even with the description, I'm a little bit.
So I mean, after they leave the bar, then they're escorted in the speeder, and we got some nice backstory and info about Bel Iblis, his actual motivations.
Yeah,
he feels very Saw Gerrera to me.
So a little bit more.
I think we
sad,
talked about that last time too.
Yeah. He's kind of like a sad Saw Gerrera, not a idealist.
Not an angry Saw Gerrera.
Not an angry Saw Gerrera.
Right.
He come to kill me.
Yeah.
That line where he
sad.
said, "I didn't realize your liquor supply was classified," I felt very Harrison Ford.
Yeah, it was good.
But yeah, it's kind of interesting that we get a timeline as well. They said that after the destruction of Yavin, so that during episode 4, he was a part of this thing, and then so obviously Han Solo becomes more integrated with the rebellion after that. And so there's some point that Han Solo is phasing into the rebellion that Bel Iblis is disappearing.
Oh, that's interesting. That's really
but I guess
interesting.
they want what was kind of revealed in this chapter was that during episode 4, the rebel cells weren't united. They unite sometime between episode 4 and 5 to become the, what do they call it? The Alliance to Restore the New Republic?
Probably Alliance to Restore the Republic or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because before that, they were just the rebels.
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many moving parts to the rebellion. It's obviously you only can do so much being a ragtag group, you know. Of course, some of them decided to join together for an ultimate cause, but who knows how many additional factions are just out there doing whatever now.
Yeah, I mean, like
right. I mean, like this
the
one,
Neo, what do they call them? The Neo Trade Group, the human cultists. The human cultists. We got to get that list somewhere. We reference that so often.
I'll find it again. Give me a minute.
Yeah.
But I actually like that. And in the current canon where, well, it's been released for quite a while now, but like Rebels and Ahsoka. Well, what were the animations that were based around the time of Rebels? So we've got Rebels and Rogue One and I guess Fallen Order as well.
Tales of the Jedi?
No. In
that was before, yeah.
I guess I'm also thinking of Jedi Survivor as well. That in this era, people aren't united. There's a bunch of different rebel factions that are, some are more terroristy than others.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like that it's not a united front.
It's realistic.
Yeah.
And it shows that division is a very effective tool from fascist regimes as well. Demoralization, division. There's probably another D word in there. We'll have a good slogan someday.
So I just did some research here. They have much more. They're not the human cultist anymore. They're the human of high culture. or sometimes known as the high human culture.
That sounds ominously more racist.
Right,
Human cultists.
I will find more on the list. It will be back. I just wanted to share that with you.
They're gonna pop at random points in the episode. Just blurt them out
Right,
when
yeah.
you find them.
As I always do. Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. And so we kind of get an out now for or a way to dissolve the tension in our New Republic here, that if we can solve the problem of Admiral Ackbar and the sticky situation he's in, that naturally the Bothans are going to ease off him rather than there being continued tension. Well, it seems that there will still be a rivalry, but it won't be as contentious if things are clear.
Yeah. So they don't have ammunition to use to attain their goals.
Yeah. I like that line as well. That was like, do they something about the ambushing, but do they also help trip them as well?
Guys,
No,
the
not
high
just for
human
trip.
culture is not great in a lot of ways. It's
Oh,
not just
no.
humans.
Well, we
What's
could have
up
told
with
you that.
not like look, we hate droids, we hate aliens, we hate women.
Damn. What?
Ugh.
Also,
Man.
Palpatine was potentially part of these people, based on
I mean, that
the
makes
fact
sense.
from his home planet. There was the humans, but there was also the Gungans that also cohabitated the planet, and they did not get along at all.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody likes the Gungans.
I like the Gungans.
Yeah, I like the Gungans.
Actually, in the Clone Wars TV series, they actually kicked ass.
They've always kicked ass.
Well, okay. That's the first place I saw them kick ass.
You're basing your entire concept of a species on one member, Scott. How dare you?
I know. Sorry. How
Jar
very
Jar.
high culturist or whatever this group is of me.
The Gungans are not a monolith.
I was just gonna say the fact that we're like, here's all the horrible things they thought, and then Scott's like, well, hang on, they have a good point with that one.
So I found on the part it's where they said that it's a typical Bothan move. The leader who stumbles is invariably jumped on by all those and attacked literally with knives until death. And it's more verbal assassinations at present. And Han is like, well, what a great group to have as an ally. Do they just stab or do they also help with the tripping? So he's asking about the bank transfers. And so...
It's a cutthroat bank.
Yeah.
So yeah, we already know from this side that it's this side of the page that this is all Thrawn's doing, but on that side of the page, it's good to like, ooh, our heroes are getting the clues. They're picking these things up, so it's nice.
It's all coming together.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a lot connected to this one rebel group here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have more racial profiling. So speaking of monoliths, we've got the Bothan's political structures and their political techniques, I guess, that we've got here, which makes me wonder if everything is true in the Star Wars universe, what does their art look like? What does Thrawn see in their art? Well, we know what Thrawn sees in their art, but like, I want to see how that is artistically depicted.
I would like to as well.
So I started reading the Thrawn Ascendancy series, and there's a little bit in the first book, from what I've read so far, that describes connections between art and culture, and in that way, it seems kind of plausible. But I would also think that art is not so homogeneous.
Monolithic.
Yeah, monolithic.
Homogeneous. Yeah.
that could really be used. And like, if you look at any piece of art, I'm sure that there is things that are like less generic pieces of art and ones that have more feeling in them, I guess. Is probably not a great way to say it, but
more like different expressions. Ways
more
to express
expressive.
the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that is just becomes noise, I think.
Yeah. I feel like Thrawn would study a few different subcultures and look for consistencies between them and determining his analysis.
Yeah.
Not this Thrawn, because this was written in the 90s, but maybe canon Thrawn.
Uh-huh.
So I did find it. And so why human cultures is hard to find, because it was a quote from Saw Gerrera himself. He was when he was talking about separatists, and he said, maybe this is a spoiler for something, Kiri's a separatist, Maya Pei's a neo-republican, the Gorman Front, the Partisan Alliance, separatist, human cultists, galaxy partisanists, they're lost. All of them lost.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. The Gorman Front. I like that one.
Yeah. Sounds like a lot of them have the same goals. Maybe they should work together.
And then I also did find a list of rebel factions that are known.
Do they name them?
So,
or just...
Yeah, they have names. There's the Rebel Alliance, the Partisan Front, the Guerrilla, the Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum, the Phoenix Cell, Enfy's Nest and the Cloud Riders, the Separatists, Saw Gerrera and the Partisans, the Atreus Resistance Group, and Mon Mothma and the Loyalist.
Wow.
Okay.
It's a wonder these guys got anything done.
Yeah, that's too many groups.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like some of them are just like one person and 7 other people.
Oh, yeah. Could you imagine like all the politics though? You're like, guys, we're trying to fight an authoritarian regime here. Can we just like chill out for a bit?
Well,
just
that's why the Republican Party is so strong in the US, is because it has a united front, and the left can barely organize itself between elections to... All right, I'll stop.
It's too real. No, you're right though. Yeah.
Everybody's fighting. What is it called? It's like the watershed argument or something. Like, what color are you painting the watershed is more divisive than deciding which side of the river you're going to live on.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah. We're all about making perfect the enemy of good, and it's frustrating.
That's one of my favorite sayings.
Yeah, it's a very good one. Yeah. Anyway, back to Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm back. I've stopped looking at articles about human cultists. They got too real. It's going to be the next Kyle Files.
Yeah.
So what did you like about the chapter then, Kyle?
I'll be honest, I didn't like the chapter. This chapter sucked. It was boring. I had to keep restarting it because I stopped paying attention several times. Yeah, not super interesting. I thought the most interesting part was when Han went into the back of the bar, and when he came out, it was like Lando was in the same exact spot, but now his face was contorted, and I just imagine going like, well, now. And that's when he noticed that he had a gun pointed at his back already.
Yeah. I love Lando in this chapter.
Lando being the curmudgeon is a new hat for him to wear, but
like all his other hats, he wears it well. Yeah.
I guess saying it sucked isn't fair. It just couldn't keep my attention. Maybe I have other stuff going on, but this chapter wasn't riveting to me.
Yeah. I do sometimes feel like it should have been with the previous chapter.
Yeah.
It felt like we were just confirming something that we already knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Stuart.
It was just further expounding on what happened in the last chapter, and like the distinction between what is of the last chapter and what is of this chapter is not so clear. I think it was more of a word count thing that it was split into two rather than anything in particular. But
and damn word counts.
Yeah, the publishing house will come in for you.
I actually didn't know that. That sucks.
Damn you, George Lucas.
I thought that was just a college essay thing.
I mean, part of the books is like the word count between chapters can't vary enormously. We've had some short chapters and some long chapters, but it's not very common that you'll find a trade paperback that has such variance in the chapter lengths.
Yeah. One thing I did like was seeing Cena talk to Han behind Bel Iblis's back like that. I thought that gave a little bit more texture to this group.
Yeah, and I like hearing a lot of like their reservations with Mon Mothma.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember if we got as much of that last chapter. So there's some new stuff there.
What do you think of the this wrinkle to Mon Mothma's character? Because we haven't seen much of her apart from like the tired, almost reluctant leader that she is. But that she could be seen as a little bit of a controlling figure, which I guess Han has felt like that is the case so far, in the way that Leia is not allowed to pursue her own things.
Yeah, I get the impression that Mon Mothma is about the objective and productivity and doesn't have much patience for what she determines to be an unproductive amount of dissent.
Just a bit of meandering.
Yeah.
That's
the impression I'm getting.
Yeah, I guess that's the way that it is sometimes.
It's a kind way to put it. She could actually have authoritarian ambitions. We'll find out. So that's what I think would be Mon Mothma's flaw. What do you guys think?
I don't think we got what the flaw was. I think you said I think, and then you.
I cut out during all my thoughts. Oh my god!
No. You said that that she has no patience for dilly dally and just wants the productivity all the time.
Yes, let's sign the next bill.
Okay.
Yeah, next bill. All right, let's go.
Got a stack.
No
of them.
time for forced stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my impression.
I mean, also, trying to get shit done, trying to rebuild a fallen empire.
Yeah. She's got to be pretty busy.
Yeah, maybe she's just a bit too big picture. And that doesn't always help in the political sphere.
Yeah. I think she's trying to just push too much too quickly, and she's not, she hasn't got any patience for like training up new stuff, because like they haven't trained anybody to replace Leia, which we talked about before. That it's Leia or nothing, and then she's going to give birth and probably be pressed back into service, the next day or whatever.
Oh no, Mon Mothma's a small business owner.
A small republic owner.
Small republic owner.
So I guess that is Mon Mothma's over-controlling nature, or just pushing things forwards, and Bel Iblis feels like that's a bit authoritarian.
Yeah, which is perfectly understandable. I mean, especially if he's regularly bringing up things that she thinks aren't worth discussing, then yeah. Could be they just look at the same thing very, very differently and have different concerns, and she just happened to get more power than him.
Yeah.
Some other things I liked about this chapter, there were two character goodbyes I really liked. For one, leading up to the first one, I really liked seeing Lando use his persuasion skills on Bel Iblis, like appealing to his ego and trying to be like, oh, the New Republic could use someone of like your experience and glory.
Like it's emotional skills or something.
Yeah. And then I liked how Bel Iblis, before then he had like really not liked Lando, but then when he shook Han's hand to like say goodbye, he nodded over at Lando and said Calrissian, which I liked seeing that like muted recognition, like that bit of respect going after that.
Mhm.
So it was just kind of cool to see Lando figure out what he needed to say and then see it work.
I think, to be fair, up until this point, Lando has been a bit of stick in the mud about what was
Exactly.
going
Yeah.
on.
Exactly. Yeah. So just some very realistic interactions there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I read this chapter, I got different impressions from Bel Iblis. And I can't decide whether he's a sad, kind of tragic character or a bit self-aggrandizing or self-entitled. I guess is the right thing that I feel confused about.
Yeah.
Is he self-entitled because he wants to be the grand glory whoever, or is he somebody that tried really hard and then was never recognized for these things?
So now he's overcompensating.
Not that he's overcompensating. He's just like, he's stuck on this one thing and he can't let it go. And I think what makes it a little bit frustrating and less sad is that Cena in this chapter in particular has been very deferential, very respecting of him. And even when Han was like, "Oh, is this about Bel Iblis getting you to tell us to do this?" And he's like, "He's got nothing to do with this. I'm coming to you because he needs this." And like, he's got a lot of people that around him that respect him and look up to him, and he's still lovesick on what he got kicked out of before.
Yeah.
So I guess that to me, that's what makes it not sad and more pathetic. Which I guess is how Han felt at the end of the chapter. He wasn't sure whether he was a pathetic old man or a sad story. So.
Yeah. That's a great way to put it. Yeah, it seems like Bel Iblis's usefulness might just be in the Katana Fleet. And unless he can get over this thing, he won't be useful in anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if he can get rid of that blockage, then, he's been a very good commander. So.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got that going for him. He just
Fingers
needs to wake up to his true potential.
Growth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He needs to let the chakras flow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I also liked Han's goodbye to Cena.
Oh yeah.
Because she threatens him, and he's like, "Are you serious?
Right.
Do you know what I've been through?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But
yes,
then
I will take this threat seriously.
Yes.
He's like, "I'll just give it to you and just pretend."
Yeah.
Pretend you're a threat.
But I also like that it struck a chord with him too, because he thought back to Luke's face before he left the Battle of Yavin.
I thought that was an interesting comparison too, because Han was like, "I'm gonna," because I recently watched the movies. Is that I'm out of here. I got my money. You guys are crazy for wanting to do this. You're gonna get blown to smithereens. And Luke's like, "Well, what? We just went through all this. Why aren't you as idealistic as I am?" He's like, "All that money's gonna do you no good if you're dead, boy."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and after having watched the movie, it resonated with me more in this scene of like what was actually trying to be communicated there in that phrase.
What do you think was trying to be communicated?
Just a kind of unrequited kinship, I guess, over ideals. That something is in the way between, we both want to do this, but you have a different priority here, and that they're not aligned on those things is melancholic.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
I was thinking more along the lines of a bit of guilt.
Yeah.
Because he does end up coming back for the Battle of Yavin.
Yeah.
And that indicates to me that, he felt badly. He looked at his stacks of money, and then his heart grew 3 sizes.
What would have been funny is, because he ends up keeping that money in the end, right? Is that he blasts that money out of the locker to destroy the TIE fighters. The guns are jammed, Chewie. What are we gonna do? Quick,
Load up the credits. What What if that was what blew up the Death Star?
Not the proton torpedo, but like all these credits just plugging all these tubes.
Yeah. It's Han's movie now.
Oh.
And then we have an Imperial section.
Before we get to that,
section.
there's another mention of Cena having a full name, and this is like the third or fourth time that we've had mention to like, what is this lady's name and why is this significant? And I'm very frustrated by it.
Yeah.
Why does she need a full name, and why does she need also a middle name like Bel Iblis? It's not like it's Mac Adams or what is it? That what's the one that's common in Spanish names? Don something, or in Arabic names where it's Al something. She's got this Lake Void Medanil.
One sounds Russian, the other sounds like a prescription. Like Vold Medanil.
Although it doesn't seem like a Corellian name. Is she Corellian? Is that what we're supposed to get out of this? Is it she isn't Corellian, has been following this guy, almost life-deading herself to him?
That's a very good point.
There better be a pronunciation guide. There needs to be, like, I don't know if any of you play, like, there's like for Dungeons and Dragons, there's an official Dungeons and Dragons pronunciation guide where it tells you how to pronounce all the damn names in this, and I need one for Star Wars. I'm so sick of looking at these names and seeing word soup.
See, my problem with the audiobook is I hear the pronunciations, but I don't always hear them properly. Yeah, like just the way that my ears hear it, it's kind of like garbled or just doesn't sound right. So if I actually saw the spelling, I could be like, oh, that's what it's supposed to be. But yeah, so I don't know.
I'm all about empowering the people.
Sometimes I'll hear them say it, and then I look at the book and I'm like, that's not how that. No.
Enough of that. We're about freedom of expression here.
Yeah, let 1,000 pronunciations bloom. That's what we're.
Yes.
But because of the Thrawn books as well, the new Thrawn books, there's a lot of words like that, and I'm like, okay. And after reading the one about conlangs, I'm like, this gets infinitely more complicated the more you think about this thing. Like, where are you going to be putting stress? What letters are there because they're supposed to be historical and like silent letters? And are you supposed to pronounce each vowel individually? Like, rather than it being Lake Vold, it would be Leik Vold. You know, how are you supposed to approach these things? And the problem space just gets much, much bigger. Which is a little fun.
It is, yeah.
Depending on what mood you're in.
Yeah.
I believe it reminds me of the joke from the Game Grumps where they're like, what if they came out and announced, guys, it's not pronounced Pepsi, it's Peepsy.
We'd have another GIF and GIF situation then.
And we all know what the proper pronunciation is.
Yes, we do.
Let's move on.
To the Imperial section. So finally, Card re-enters the story. We have more reason for them to come back.
Yay! Which means the next chapter, we're going back to Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, I bet you've been wondering. Oh, actually, I just forgot his name. I was going to say the squid guy. What's his name? What's he doing? He's in prison now.
Ackbar?
Admiral Ackbar.
Yeah. Guys, I bet you've been wondering what Ackbar's doing right now.
That's right. We are overdue an Ackbar chapter.
To be fair, he's not a point of view character. I would expect them to have like a video chat with him or something.
I wouldn't hate if this randomly we just got a weird like Uncle Iroh-esque escape scene of escaping prison.
It's been getting ripped this whole time.
Every time that grumpy droid walks out of the room, he just gets down, does a dozen push-ups and 100 sit-ups.
Yeah.
He uses the rubber bands they've been restraining him with his strength exercises.
Yeah. So now, like, after clacking his rubber bands all day, he can like just cut through the bars. He can cut through anything.
Now he has the grip strength to just have to grab the door and rip it off.
Yeah.
He's been practicing so much that somebody comes at him with a lightsaber and he can cut through it with his.
Oh no.
Unstoppable.
I can't remember where it was, but there was definitely somebody said there was a book or something where somebody walks in on Ackbar training and he's like training with a staff and he is ripped.
I believe
is he as ripped as Sabaoth though?
Who knows? Only time will tell.
Was that in Rebels? Didn't we talk about that being part of Rebels? I know there was a scene with Thrawn like going hand to hand with a bunch of droids, and then his like something gets destroyed, his weapon gets destroyed, and just like this and keeps punching through the droids.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Or his weapons were getting in my way anyway.
Yeah.
Right. I can imagine Ackbar being like the giant lobster guy from SpongeBob SquarePants.
Larry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I should not have searched this.
Back pedal.
That's better.
Did you get Rule 34?
No, I just searched Ackbar shirtless.
Oh god.
So we did get Rule 34.
There we go. Yeah. No, I just saw a bunch of random dudes who happen to also named Ackbar.
I will have to note that for personal research.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
This is the first time that Thrawn's big brainness has got himself up his own arse so far that it stopped making sense.
He's way overthinking.
And even Paleon turns around and says, like, this is highly irregular for their battle tactics. And he just says, yes. And so that's what makes it all the more frightening. Like, he's not wrong.
I love it. All it is a simple meeting place.
Yeah. But he thinks that Tantus is a threat now.
Mm-hmm.
How he jumped to that, I don't know.
I think I called this in a previous chapter. I can't remember if I said it out loud, but he did conveniently pick up the Millennium Falcon, and it's gonna be there perfectly for when other people inevitably get captured and they have to get off his ship somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man.
Here we go.
All right.
If I was a Thrawn, I would have just shot it and blow
Blast
it up. I'll stop the ship.
Yeah.
He's just keeping it for sentimental reasons. He just wants to have it as a collector's item.
He very specifically says, "Let's collect it to see if we can gather any information from it."
He's just gonna get nothing but Wookiee hairs.
These Wookiee hairs match the Wookiee hairs that we found on Kavarak's ship.
Who's the Wookiee that normally?
What do you think it could mean?
The Millennium Falcon.
I don't see anything about collecting the Falcon, but it's okay.
Okay. So I hate that you're right. That's probably what's going to happen is that they're going to be like, he's like, oh, the clump of hair that we found on Kavarak's ship is the same hair that is on the Millennium Falcon.
So what do you think they're just going to go back to what do they call it, Honaga? And just blast the planet again? More orbital bombardments.
I'm just gonna go Kylo Ren on the planet surface.
Kneel before your gods.
Oh man!
Dump another shipwreck on their planet.
Yeah. This time it's the Millennium Falcon, though.
Destroy the smokehouse. Destroy the bakehouse. All good, yeah.
And then is that the last of what we got here? And then we've got a report from the Adamant from the Abrigado system. They've captured one of Talon Card's freighters. The transcript of the preliminary interrogation is coming through now. It's rather short, sir.
Ooh.
What do you think's happened? This is interrogation, so they've captured somebody, right?
Oh my goodness. Whoa.
The Adamant?
Yeah, in the Abrigado system where Han and Lando got some guy imprisoned and then sprung from, or not imprisoned, but they got a ship confiscated. And then they ended up getting that guy, can't remember what his name, Finn Torf, maybe?
Yeah.
He, they picked him up in that bar with the unruly reverend and got him off planet and got their free ride to Merca.
What if they picked up the reverend?
They picked up the reverend.
I hope not.
The reverend is the true dissident. He's the contact that's shipping the supplies from the smugglers into the hill people. That seems like a reverend's job.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that he was in on the whole skiff card thing the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
It's all coming together. I think that's what it was.
Thrawn's just trying to get to the bottom of this skiff card business.
Illegal skiffing.
He wants
Trying to
smuggling.
root
It's
out
all
this
tied
operation.
together. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Restoring the Empire is just a sub-objective.
Anything more out of Thrawn's big braining that we want to dunk on?
I love that it ends on saying that he's reading a report very, very carefully. Thrawn's getting a little unhinged now, and I like it.
I mean, yeah, particularly that it's a very short report, but he's reading it very carefully. Must mean that it contains...
Oh, true. It could have a lot of information in it, actually.
Yeah.
Either that or Thrawn's overthinking. Probably both.
He's reading between every line.
Yeah.
He stopped seeing the letters and just the space around the letters.
Right. He's studying how the letters were created.
He's critiquing the font choice.
Don definitely does that thing where he can read two separate things with each individual eye.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Absolutely, yeah. And
Oh,
I know y'all hated this chapter, but there's a lot of interesting stuff here that makes me excited for what's coming.
Yeah. I didn't hate it. I thought it was pretty good.
No.
I actually
you
enjoyed
hated
it.
No, you said it sucked.
You know what? That's right.
You said this was the worst thing you said this was the worst thing you've ever read.
You know what? It made me want to stop doing this podcast, to be honest.
We finally broke him.
I'm going to go to the Kyle Fires with blackjack and hookers.
Yeah.
And I guess with that, this has been The Lost Holocron.
Play us out, Johnny.
You can find transcripts, links to discussions, and more at our website, lostholocron.com. While you're there, you can learn how you can support the creation of future episodes. Read on, and we'll be waiting for you in the next transmission. We will be honored if you would join us.